What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Trey Mitchell, and now I'm going to be predicting the NBA awards for this year, the 2021-2022 NBA season. As I'm recording this, the Brooklyn Nets are now on a 7-0 run, up in the fourth quarter by Milwaukee, uh, against Milwaukee. And now I'm going to show you guys, or predict to you guys, the potential NBA season and the season award winners. Now, this is my prediction, and it's not. This is my prediction, and not a guarantee that all these are gonna happen. So, I just want that to be known. But without further ado, let's get started. For my MVP, I have Joel Embiid winning this MVP, and the reason why I have Joel Embiid winning MVP is because, if we're being honest, there's two reasons. He should have won it last year, but injuries are a thing that I'm not really mad about or sad about. Injuries are a thing, and when Embiid got hurt, that really hurt his MVP chances, and therefore Nikola Jokic took it away, and also Steph Curry was doing pretty great as well. But here's the other reason why I think he's going to win MVP. Ben Simmons is not going to play. I think we all know that Ben Simmons isn't going to play. And Joel Embiid has shown us before that he can be dominant. But injuries, he just needs to stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy, he will have it in the bag. Now, previously, I had him listed as a 5th seed, and honestly, they could actually be even the 3 seed. I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler. Joel Embiid is on my front-running list to win Defensive Player of the Year. So I can just get that out there now. If Joel Embiid wants to assert himself as the best player or the most dominant player in today's NBA, this is the year. And if he doesn't show it, then I think the writing's on the wall that the Sixers need some retooling. And I'm not saying they need to win a championship. I'm not saying that they need to have some playoff success, because they've had plenty of playoff success. It's just unfortunate events happen. Example, this past season, where as a team, they didn't play to their strengths. When you can say, yeah, Ben Simmons was the reason why they lost, but as a team, you look at the other games, they can say they wasn't playing to their strengths. So like I said, if Joel Embiid wants to prove to himself that he is as dominant as he says he is, this is the year. You can put the whole league on notice that the Sixers are nothing to play around with. We said that in 2019, and then Kawhi happened. If you want to submit it now in 2022, Joel, this is the year. Let me tell you some honorable mentions or the potential finalist, we'll say. I have Luka, and you know Luka was a triple double machine. Everyone has him as the front winner. And I was looking back at it, I was like, he might not even be third on my list. He may not even been top 3. And it's just because of, this is, and it's just because maybe what could go down in Dallas. Luka's probably, if the season doesn't go well, which I don't know what a successful year in Dallas looks like. But if the season doesn't go well in Luka's eyes, he might request a trade, even though he did I think Luka signed a contract extension. And also you got Porzingis, and then you signed, I think, Tim Hardaway Jr. to a contract extension. But when you look past it, that's pretty much it. They got rid of Josh Richardson for pretty much nothing. And now this is basically showing that this has been Luka's team. But I'm saying Porzingis needs to step up in a way. They have Jason Kidd as the new head coach instead of Rick Carlisle, so I'm really interested to see how that transforms. But Luka, without a doubt, is an MVP finalist, MVP candidate. People have him as the front runner. I'm not sure if we can say he's a lock to win it yet. Also have here Steph and Dame, and I couldn't decide between those two because Steph is going to do Steph things. He's gonna put up 32, go crazy, show the league that, hey, I still got it. Even though we're probably not going to be a championship contending team, I still got it. But I also have Dame here because I think Dame really, and I mean really, proved that he was one of the best players in the league last playoffs. Now, yes, they got eliminated in 6, but you gotta realize Dame was almost unguardable that whole series. And this is a regular season award. I understand that. But Dame can have games like this in the regular season too. I believe he's had 60-point games. I think he had one on Martin Luther King Day. Was it this season or the last season? He had a 60 bomb. He can show. He can tell people, "Hey, I am it." It's just everything around me just isn't that. But this is an individual award. In my eyes, the MVP award I'm determining is individually. Dame could have this, but Luka and Joel are going to be really, really close. So I'm not sure if he's 100% got it. Let's talk about the Rookie of the Year races now. A lot of people have Jalen Green because of his scoring. And a lot of people have Cade Cunningham because of his all-around game. If you ask me, I value the all-around game more than scoring. Unless the scoring is to a T that no one else can achieve. I like the all-around game, and that's what I'm saying. Cade's going to win it. Now, I don't think Cade has played. I think Detroit's only played 1 or 2 preseason games, and I haven't seen Cade play either of those. So I'm not sure how adapted Cade is to the NBA game. But based off potential and what he's shown, even in Summer League, I think Cade's going to have it. It's going to be close, though, because Jalen Green is my second. It's either going to be Jalen and Cade or Cade and Jalen. It's one of the two. So I don't want to hear comments of disappointment about how, well, Cade didn't do this or Jalen Green doesn't do that. And maybe that someone else other than those two could take it. And the third guy on my list is actually Scotty Barnes. Like I said, I value the all-around game. Even though it's the preseason. I don't want to overreact to the preseason. Actually, the rest of the predicaments, I am overreacting to the preseason. But Scotty Barnes could be a dark horse candidate for a roadie this year. He could take it away from both Jalen and Cade. Right now, Toronto is basically turning a new page. They got rid of Kyle Lowry, the longest tenured Raptor, and now they're starting to build towards that young culture. And I think Scotty Barnes can help this Raptor team do that. And he can help them so much to the point that they may even be a playing team. That's how big it could be. I have them predicted as a 12 seed, but the Raptors can honestly be a real contender for a playing spot. 6th man of the year, and I already told you. Let me get the deep war out the way, because I just told you Joel is my candidate to win it, and he's also been an all-defensive player for the past 3 years. Now, the guys that I have on my short list are 2 names that have been thrown around a lot in terms of the defensive player of the year race, because, Giannis and Bam. Now, Giannis and Bam, well, let's go with Giannis first. Giannis is a deep boy already, so he knows what to expect. Bam's a defensive player, an all-defensive player. Now is he going to win it? I don't know, but like I said, I have high praise on Joel Embiid. And if Joel Embiid does what he needs to, he will potentially win both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Now, who might actually win it? And maybe Giannis. And maybe Rudy Gobert, who I don't have on my list. The honorable mentions. And it may be even someone else that I didn't expect. But Joel Embiid, I think, should have it on lock if he stays healthy. Now, here's Now, the six man of the most improved player list, I have really, really difference. Now, honestly, the favorites. I have the favorites. Jordan Clarkson for six man, who won it last year for Utah, and Michael Porter Jr. this year. With Jamal Murray being out, he's gonna easily step up. I think they're gonna win it. I want to talk about the people that could contend. Let's start with the most improved player. For my runner-up, I'm gonna say Jordan Poole of the Golden State Warriors, and here's why. We have no idea when Klay's coming back. Sometime in 2022. Clearly, like I said if he comes back either before the All-Star break or the day after the All-Star break, the Warriors are a playoff team. Jordan Poole, at the second half of the season, showed Golden State that he's an up-and-coming. If he gives you about a good 17, 18, he's an MIP candidate. Because he can do that. He can impact the game really, really differently. People are saying, well, it's all Steph and Draymond. You gotta look at that third string. Jordan Poole is the third string. He's a guy that if Steph is not scoring, he's most likely going to be scoring. And that's the thing I like about Jordan Poole. He came out of Michigan pretty much famous for the buzzer beater, the amazing buzzer beater, to make it, I believe, to the Final Four, or was that to make it to the championship, with Mo Wagner and that Michigan Wolverines team. He's famous for that, but also he's famous because he's a crafty scorer. And I like Jordan Poole. Now, my next two candidates, you can have chances. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Lonzo Ball. Now, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, it's not a shock. People have him as the most improved because, since Lonzo's gone, he can fit perfectly. He could take over as at least a third scoring option and get the Pelicans on track. And then I have Lonzo is because he's in a new situation in Chicago. Preseason shows he's playing, it looks like he's playing his game and scoring a bit here and there. But a guy that also I didn't have on my list, who looking back at it I should have, was Kevin Porter Jr. Now let me talk about Kevin Porter Jr. He came out of a bad situation in Cleveland. He forced his way out. Houston took a fly on him because, well, they're basically one of the worst teams, and he dropped 50. He dropped a 50 piece. A crafty left-hander that can do it almost all, and now has Jalen Green, which was one of his former teammates, now, our former high school teammates, now on the same team. They could be really, really crafty. And Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, so far, in their 2 preseason games in Houston, have shown that they're actually the future of that Rockets backcourt. And I didn't have them on my list because, really, it was Jordan Poole who was going to be on my list as a favorite for me, even though Michael Porter Jr. could take it home. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, because he could step up and take place of Lonzo Ball, and Lonzo Ball because he's in a new situation. He's going to play the Lonzo Ball way in Chicago because he's not the guy that has to shoot anymore because Zion's going to be in the paint. No, he's not the guy anymore. Yeah, Zach LaVine and somewhat of Vucevic. So now Zoe can be the playmaker that we saw coming out of UCLA. But Kevin Porter Jr. is a dark horse in this case because I don't have him. He's going to surprise people. Am I saying is he going to win most improved? No, but he's going to surprise a lot of people with the way he played. They saw it his half season in Houston. They're going to see it now in full display as now one full season of Houston is going to be under his belt. Now let's go back to the 6-man convo. I have Jordan Clarkson winning it, like I said. There's 2 players on here that I hope challenges Jordan Clarkson. The first guy is Malik Monk. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to how the NBA Warriors have been going. Jordan Clarkson, a former Laker, win Sixth Man of the Year, and he can show that he is a great guy to come off the bench and give you a bucket. Julius Randle, a former Laker, won Most Improved Player. Now, obviously on cameras it's not going to say it, or not on audio, but Julius Randle coming out of Kentucky, I loved. Sucks he got hurt his first game, then almost averages a double-double for 2 straight seasons. And I'm saying, oh yeah, he's going to be great in the NBA. Then Kuzma and Larry Nance came in, and really he didn't have a spot, and we knew he was going to leave. He goes to New Orleans and puts up 25 and 10. And the shocking thing was, he didn't win Most Improved Player that year, which was like really surprising. But then again, I think this is the year Victor Oladipo took off. So, no, that was 2018. Who won in 2019? Oh, I forgot who won in 2019. But I thought Julius Randle should have at least been considered to win Most Improved Player at that time. After his one season short stint in New Orleans, he goes to New York, and his first year wasn't good. I think we can all agree his first year wasn't good. But then the second year, he showed that, oh yeah, he's got talent. And it showed. So why Malik Monk? Is it because he's a now Laker? Yes. But Malik Monk's on this list is because you gotta realize, in Charlotte, he wasn't consistent, but when he had those games, he was having those games. 30 bombs, 25, a 20-piece, maybe even almost a double-double. He was the spark plug Charlotte had, but he wasn't consistent. He could drop a 30-piece, but then have 2. He would have 18, 19, then have 5 the next game. Now, saying in LA, that could potentially change because, I mean, you have Melo. If I was the Lakers, I want to start Malik Monk because he's a great spark to come off the bench, but you also have Melo. But like the Clippers, when they had both Lou Will and Montrez being consideration for 6th man, and Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles last year for Utah, I think it could gel out perfectly. It can gel out perfectly, and it could work. So this is just a personal favorite for me, like it is Jordan Poole and Golden State. Malik Monk winning 6th man, or being the closest to challenge Jordan Clarkson to win 6th man, would be amazing for me. The next guy on my list is Malik Beasley. Now, Malik Beasley has actually had a pretty good season last year, but also a pretty rough one with getting in trouble and stuff. But he almost gave you about a dub a game. And you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves team now. They are healthy, ready to win games, and a potential play-in seed. I have them listed as my 10th. I think they can do exactly that, or even get 9th. But also the reason why Malik Beasley, it might should be a 6th man, because you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves starting lineup. D'Lo, Anthony Edwards. I really don't know who they're going to have at the 3. People saying maybe Taurean Prince, people saying Jared Vanderbilt. That's just up for debates. You have your 4. Oh no, who was the 4? You really don't have a 3 and 4 set, but Cats are 5. And Malik Beasley is the 4th best player. But you can have Naz Reid probably starting at the 4. But you look at Malik Beasley and you look at the Timberwolves, and I recently had a small lineup. I want to say this loud and clear. I do not want Minnesota to run Malik Beasley at the 3. And by that, I mean starting at the 3. He can come off the bench and be the 3, but not starting. They will not have the bench offense that could potentially put them in the play-in. Malik Beasley will do that off the bench. He's shown it a bit in Denver. He's showing it in Minnesota. He's the perfect guy. They shouldn't mess that up. So that was everything. Now it's to the Coach of the Year. Now the Coach of the Year, in this case, it literally depends on who's the best team, who's the best coach, who is the most improved team record-wise, and who's a surprising team. Now, for the coach of the year, I have Steve Nash because I don't know what the Nets are going to do, but I know they're going to be super good this year. And I think Steve Nash is going to take home the coach of the year after having a pretty shaky first year because one of COVID, but at the same time, Kyrie, KD, and Harden were pretty much getting hurt and also sitting out. And then when the playoffs mattered, Kyrie got hurt and Harden got hurt. And KD had to carry them, and it didn't go well because, about being a foot behind the line. But this year, now that they've got all that out the way, this is just another reason why the Brooklyn Nets could be the best team in the NBA and potentially win the championship. So, Steve Nash is definitely my front runner. As I was just turning around, saw a nice bucket from Cam Thomas. Honorable mentions. None of these, now listen here. The coach of the year, that's why I really couldn't decide on a coach of the year honorable mention, because really none of these have a shot unless they do amazing. Billy Donovan and the Chicago Bulls. Now, Billy Donovan and the Bulls are pretty good. I have them listed as a 7th seed. They could be anything better than that. I have Mike Malone on here. And the reason why I have Mike Malone, because I don't know what Denver... Well, I'll just tell you who I have. Billy Donovan, Mike Malone, or Ime Udoka. I don't know what those three teams could do. But if you go back to my prediction, my standings prediction, Billy Donovan and the Bulls are the 7th seed. Mike Malone and the Nuggets are the 5th seed. And Ime Udoka, the Celtics, are the 6th seed. I didn't have Nate McMillan, Eric Spoelstra that could probably take away. I didn't even have Tyler Lue or Frank Vogel. I'm looking towards the middle of the pack because I know one of those three teams in the middle of the pack could actually be way better than I thought they would be. And it can sneak out Steve Nash and take home that coach of the year. I have no idea if all my predictions are correct or 100% off. But that's the reason why I'm making a prediction. Thank you guys for watching this. Make sure you comment, like, or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. It's just a short episode, but I'll see you guys later. I'm out.